Hey guys, this week we're continuing our DIY knot board display with the Prusik Loop. Okay, so the first step in tying a Prusik is to actually tie a double fisherman's knot or loop within a single piece of cordage. So I have this larger diameter rope here to simulate your climbing rope, and then a smaller diameter rope to tie the Prusik is represented here. You always want to have a size discrepancy or difference between the rope that this will be biting onto or the Prusik will be biting onto. So there's no real formula per se between the thickness of your climbing rope versus the thickness of your accessory cordage that you would tie this in. However, when I've used Prusiks before, this is the actual diameter of the cordage, and this is the exact cordage I use for tying Prusiks. This is from Blue Water ropes, black cordage from Blue Water ropes. So this is kind of meant to simulate this as a whole. So the first step is to take the two working ends and you're going to cross them, or so to speak, you're going to line them up. So you've got one working end coming off the top and one working end coming off the bottom, and you've got this loop that's created over here. So I like to just reverse this as I'm tying it, and you'll see that as I work through this. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the double fisherman's because we've gone over that in our previous video that we'll link in the description below of this video. But suffice to say, this is the way you start. So you can kind of see the working end of my right and my left, and I'm going to start with the leftmost working end. So you're going to wrap this on top. This is the standing part of the line at this point, and around the back, and then cross over itself. So you're kind of forming that Q shape. Then around the back of both of those lines again, and then you're going to come back through here. So just to kind of back up a little bit, once you wrap around, you've almost created this void here, like that looks like a figure eight, and this working end is going to come right through everything. So you're trapping that line here, you're coming under, and you're pulling through. And then you're going to clean it up by tightening it up. And what you're left with is something that looks like a double barrel knot on one side and kind of an X on the other side. And then this is your standing end at this point. So then I'm going to loosen this up a little bit so I get this loop a little bigger. And I'm going to tie the same thing. So you can see I just flipped it like this, so I'm tying the exact same way. I'm going to come around the back side again, cross on top, cross around to the back, and then right through there again. I apologize if this rope is a little hard to see, but I wanted something small that wasn't black to use on this. So again, crossed, barrel, barrel, and then I'm going to pull on the opposite ends, and there is my Prusik loop. So that's the way you take it through and form the actual loop itself. Then there's another step to this, which is wrapping it on the line. So some people swear by a double wrap Prusik. I like the triple wrap Prusik, and what that means is you're really just girth hitching this onto the line. So this would be just a traditional girth hitch on the line. However, with a Prusik, you don't want this to interfere with where you hook up your carabiner, because right now that carabiner would sit right on that knot if I were to hook that up and use a carabiner. So if I was going to attach this, to my, actually I would attach it this way. So I wouldn't want this interfering with the carabiner, so I'm going to actually move that out of the way. So I would actually start it more like this, so that that loop or the barrel of this was offset. So this is now where my carabiner would get attached like this, and then it's not interfering. So it's a friction hitch, so it's meant as weight gets attached to it to bite on the rope or seize up. So that's just a single wrap, but you're actually going to do more. So I would give myself a little slack, and I would spread this apart, and you're actually going to wrap again in the very center of this just like so. So if I were to clean this up, it would look like this. So there's my second wrap. And some people leave it like this. I like to go ahead and do a third wrap, so I'll take it through again. And there may not be enough cordage to properly demonstrate this here, but you will get the idea. And you always want the successive wraps to come inside of the last wrap. So meaning that if I were to separate this, you would see these are all contained within that overall first girth hitch that is put onto the rope. So even still with this, you've still got a space to put your carabiner onto and hook up with that is not directly in the path of this Prusik loop. So that's the Prusik loop. Again, it's a kind of a safety backup friction hitch for climbing rope when you're rappelling. All right, so you can see with our DIY knot board display, we're starting to fill this up a little more. This is our Prusik loop now attached to what is simulating our rappelling rope or climbing rope. And then I also have just the double fisherman's knot here from the previous episode. So if I were to pull this together, that's what would form the loop that I would wrap on this. So this is a triple wrap Prusik loop on the line, and that concludes the Prusik loop portion of our DIY knot board display. Thanks for watching the Knot of the Week and our continuing series with the DIY knot board display and our Prusik loop. Remember to share this video around, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff that helps us get more eyes on our YouTube videos. Very much appreciated. Thanks for watching.